everyone, my name is Nick Simi. In today's video, it's a little switch up. I decided to visit my friend Jackson Hayes here in Columbus, Ohio. This is self-proclaimed the dungeon. So if you guys watched my previous videos, you guys noticed that I was working out in the sweatshop back in my home gym in Dayton, but now I'm in the dungeon. So shout out to Jackson Hayes for letting me use this space for this video and future videos to come. So in today's video, I want to go over the bench press, specifically the 225 bench press. So like my previous video where I was going into the exercises for the 40-yard dash, I want to give you guys 5 pillars or 5 things to check off your list when you're going through a 225 bench press testing and training. So a big disclaimer is this is going to be a little bit more advanced video. You know, some athletes might say, Nick, I might not be able to reach 225 right now, and that's completely fine. This is for more of the advanced guys right now, maybe trying to prep for the NFL or even college combines. So here we go. So pillar 1 is a full body preparation. A common misconception for the bench press is that you're only using your chest. And I would highly disagree with that. You're going to be using your whole body. You're going to be using your legs for a leg drive, using your back to really work the bar down to your chest. And then obviously you're using the chest for the main part of the movement. But overall, full body movement, so don't you guys forget that, especially when you guys are warming up. So the first exercise for you guys to warm up for the bench press is called a wall push dead bug. So a little bit of variation. So you want to make sure your low back is in the ground. You want to make sure no space between your hand and your low back. So if you guys are arching your low back, that is not the point of this exercise. Your hands are going to be flipped back against the wall, pushing into the wall, providing a little bit of resistance. This is the starting position. You're going to slowly extend one leg straight. Breathe out as you come back. So you're going to go 5 seconds out and then slowly bring it back. You're going to do 5 reps on each side. So here is one full rep. So that would be 1 rep, you do 5 total. So first, that's really for bracing the core, because your core has to be tight with the bench press. Next is getting some of the posterior chain, like your glute muscles, to be activated for this movement. So this is a mini band squat. So you can vary the resistance of the band. I'm going a little bit lighter with this. And all of these will be about 1 to 2 sets. It's really for your preference. Looking at about 10 reps for this exercise here. So feet shoulder width apart, slightly with the toes pointed out. You want to act like you're grabbing the ground with your toes. So if I, imagine this is my foot. I'm not trying to curl my toes, but I'm just trying to pull and get some grab with the ground, because you want to make sure your foot is stable for everything else to be stable in your body. So slight grab with your toes on the ground. Core is tight, chest is up, everything's facing forward. You're gonna do a 2 to 3, 4 count down. Don't bounce on the bottom, slowly come back up. You wanna make sure your knees are not caving in. So this is providing a tactile input, so you guys can kind of push your knees out against the band. Don't over push it, but just enough to keep your body neutral and not let your knees cave in. So that's the mini band squat. Next, you have a shoulder external rotation. So to review, we had something for core prep, we had something for posterior chain and lower body. Now we have something more targeted at the upper body and the shoulder. So this is looking more at the rotator cuff muscles, the posterior aspect of your shoulder. So you're gonna grab a handle here. I actually forgot one quick thing. Grab a towel. So what I see some guys do is when they're doing this, you're thinking about bringing the back of your hand towards the wall, they'll kind of create space with their elbow and their body. And they'll be like, Nick, I'm doing it. You might have more range of motion to the eye, but you're actually not targeting the muscles that you're wanting to target. So you roll up, really you can roll up anything, a sweatshirt or a towel, place it underneath your armpit. So now you have to squeeze your elbow to your body and not let that towel hit the ground. So it's a small movement. So knees slightly bent, everything's facing forward. This is about parallel to the ground. Back your hand out, hold it for a second, slowly come in towards your belly button. This is a slow and controlled movement. This is not for speed and this is not for strength. Slow, slowly come back in. You'll do about 1 to 2 sets, 10 reps each side. And last one here, looking at the shoulders now, is a little bit more for your back. And your back is very valuable in the bench press. So this is a dead arm hang with a scapula squeeze. So when you guys, imagine I have my scapula on both sides of my spine. When I'm squeezing my scapula, I'm setting my shoulders down and back. So I'm kind of rotating them down and towards the midline. So that's kind of the position that you want to have when you're set up for the bench press. It's going to be kind of hard to see because I have obviously a long sleeve shirt and a short sleeve shirt on, but so you're going to start with a hang. You can even start with your feet on the ground because obviously once your feet come off the ground, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Here, you're not going to bend your elbows like a pull-up, but you're just going to set your shoulders down and back and slowly come back down. So thinking about your scapula down and squeeze, then come back down. Slow and controlled movement, about 10 reps. So that is the full body prep for the bench press. So pillar 2 is the setup to the bench press. So obviously make sure you always have a spotter, but this is something that you can run through your head as a mini checklist before you even get under the bar and before you even receive the weight, whether it's 225 or heavier. So the first thing that I start with is the bar. So when I'm walking up to the bar, I want to make sure it's even. So I do a little finger rule on both sides of the bar. So I'll take 2 fingers or 1 finger, and I'll kind of see and make sure it's even on both sides. So if it's shifted one way or the other, then I'm gonna obviously notice that with the little finger test to start. So I wanna make sure that is set up to begin with. Next, you wanna have 5 points of contact. So both feet, 1, 2, I'll show that here. Your bottom is gonna stay on the ground. I do not advise overarching your back. So here, 1, 2, points of contact, hips, 3, shoulders, 4, 5 is your head. So when you get underneath the bar, your eyes are gonna be directly below the bar. You don't wanna be receiving the weight too far back because otherwise you're putting your shoulders in a position that could potentially lead to injury. It might not lead to injury the first time you do it, but if you're consistently taking a 300 pounds of weight, 200, however much, and you're bringing that over your head, your shoulder is a joint that's very susceptible to injury. So, like I said, finger test, 5 points of contact, always have a spotter. So for your wrist alignment, so kind of recap, both feet, they're gonna be slightly underneath or back from your knee. They can be right underneath or slightly back. You're gonna pin your heels down towards the ground. Squeezing your glutes, core is tight. Your hands, I personally go a little bit closer or more narrow, so I'm about shoulder width apart. So I can roll it forward here, eyes are directly below, shoulder width apart. When I bring the the bar up, I wanna make sure my wrists, if you can come in and check this here, I wanna start with my wrists a little bit pronated or curled over the bar. So I make sure my hands are even. I don't start back, because if I'm accepting the bar here, the actual bar is running behind the line of the actual force that I'm pressing with my forearm, my shoulders, etc. So you guys want to make sure the bar is in line from your hand, your wrist, your elbow. Everything has to be in line. So I'm going to accept the bar here for a second. Here. And this is how I'm setting it up. Last point. No suicide grip. Make sure your your thumbs are curled all the way around the bar too. The more times you guys see with someone pressing like this, the bar can easily jump out and cause injury, come down in your chest. So that is the setup to the bench press. Next for pillar 3 is the actual bench press warm-up. So these numbers can change based on your 1 rep max, but I'm showing it here for going no higher than 275. So check it out.
Always make sure you and your spotter are on the same page. So I do a 3, 2, 1 countdown. So here you can see I'm doing 135 for 5 reps. Next in the warm-up is 185 for 3 reps. And as you can see, I'm not letting my elbows flare out with any of these. I'm also controlling it and not bouncing it off my chest. Your third warm-up set will be 225 for 2 reps. Remember to keep your shoulders down and back, keep your lats engaged. Shown here is 245 for a single. These heavier sets will allow you to recruit more motor units for the lighter 225.
A quick one here in Pillar 4, which is your mindset, which is honestly one of the most overlooked in all of this. So this entire time you've been getting your body ready. Now it's time to lock in, get focused, think of a goal that you have in your mind, think of walking onto the team, thinking of hitting that PR, get in there and kill it. Come on.
Do whatever you have to do, jump around. You can see some slaps here. Get under that bar, get set, and then we're going to work. So first, the phase that you can go through is the continuous phase. As you can see, I am repping this out till about 15 to 17 reps in a row. I'm holding my breath predominantly through these initial reps. Once I'm getting to the point where I know I'm getting to 15, 16, 17, I pause. Next is triples. This is the counting phase or calculated phase. So that's 1 triple. I actually do another triple. Right there, you could probably go into a double. I knew that I couldn't hit a double, so now I move right into singles. I'm breathing in on the way down. I'm exploding as much as I can on the way up. I'm gripping the bar as hard as I can.
5. Come on. 26, let's go.
With that last rep, I knew I maybe could have tried for another one, but I didn't want to risk injury.
All right, guys, apologize if I'm breathing a little heavy. Just finished up with a 225 bench test. If you like this video, make sure you comment, you like it, subscribe, share it. Let me know what you want to see in future videos. Hopefully this provided value to you. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, guys, apologize if I'm breathing. All right, 3, 2. All right, guys, I apologize if I'm breathing. Why can't I say breathing?